Can I ask you a question? When was the last time you read a fiction book? Not a self-help book or like a how to do something book that you think is going to get you some result in life. When was the last time you read a fiction book? I'm bringing this up because it's been a big deal for me personally over the last, I would say, 1 to 2 years. I've really been getting into reading more fiction. And I think it's just so important because, when you're a kid in school, supposedly they teach you to read fiction. I mean, they did for me. And I read a bunch of great fiction. And I can remember as a kid connecting with certain books that just blew my mind, that just tore me wide open. Things that confused me, things that excited me, things that made me sad, things that made me happy, things that just opened up a whole new magical world. I can remember even just like later in childhood reading Harry Potter. When I was in my like preteens, late childhood to preteens, and I remember the excitement and anticipation of just waiting for the book, getting the book, turning each page, and I can remember thinking, why would I want to watch TV right now? I have this amazing book, and it's like eating the best meal. It's like watching the best movie for 12 hours. I can remember the feeling of loving a good book, especially a fiction book. And I started reading those books again, those fiction books again, and I started picking back up books that I had read in high school. For instance, I've always been a big fan of magical realism. This is fiction written in a really interesting, magical, and romantic way by members of like the Latin American community, so South America, Central America. People like Gabriel Garcia Marquez or Isabel Allende. You might even put Paulo Coelho in there, although a lot of people would say he's not magical realism. But I also started reading the American classics. Right now I'm reading East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And what I can say about fiction is that it reminds you that your mind is the greatest canvas that you can paint on. We are trained now to watch screens. I mean, you're watching me on a screen right now, and hopefully it's giving you some ideas, but we're trained now to watch on screens, and the screens show someone else's vision for a creative environment, for a creative world. Because there's always a director and a producer and a writer behind what you see on a screen, especially a scripted movie, and you don't realize it, but you're absorbing their imagination through your mind, through the filter of a bunch of different people who have to touch that in order to get it to your brain. But with a writer, yes, there are people who work on books, and we have editors and we have writers, but like this is almost a pure form of transmission from the author to the reader, directly to the brain. And because it only describes what is in the book, it doesn't show it. You have to create that imagery with your mind, and that flexes your mental muscles. That reminds you that you're the one creating the images. Even when you watch something on a screen and you see a visual painted by a James Cameron in a movie like Avatar, you're still processing that in your mind, and it's making meaning for you. And it looks a little bit different to everyone because of the fact that we're all perceiving it with our own individual brains. With the book is the original form of meaning making passed on from one to another. It's the original viral meme. You're much more likely to read a book that someone else recommends to you because you trust a friend. And I would highly encourage you to read some fiction this year. A couple books that really touched me this year. I reread three that I read in high school, which just blew my mind. I reread House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. I reread Love in the Time of Cholera and 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. These books touched me. They absolutely gripped me, and they reminded me how beautiful life can be when viewed in this romantic way. And it also reminded me that the pace of storytelling should be leisurely. Again, in the 60-second soundbite, real algorithm optimized world of today, we're trained to like get to the point. What's the point? What's the hook? Give me the meat, and then give me the outro. But a great book, sometimes you're just reading and you're just walking in the weeds and the flowers of the author's mind until you get to the destination. Now, some people don't have the patience for that anymore, but I find that it's that we've lost the patience because we've been trained to only enjoy the little dopamine hits. But pleasure can be extended, and you find yourself reading a story, like I read 100 Years of Solitude, and I felt like I'd lived in that time, in that place with those people. There's a town called Macondo, and I felt like I'd lived there. And this same feeling is coming with East of Eden. I mean, it's a pretty epic tome. I mean, it's not too long. It's 500 pages or so, which is, it's fairly long, but I mean, it reads fast. It's a good read. And I just feel that I'm in the world of the characters. I feel like I'm in the mind of John Steinbeck. I feel like I'm in that early 1900s America, which, hey, as a black man, you know, it's nice to be a voyeur and not actually in a time machine. But I love storytelling, and I love reading great storytelling. And you'll never stop me from reading books, never. And to that, I say, find some fiction books that you love, and just crack one open with no expectation. If you don't like it, put it down, but keep looking until you find one, because you might find through reading fiction again that you're gonna stop watching so much TV, because this takes up all your time. You're not gonna need to read. You're not gonna need to watch TV anymore. You're not gonna need to stuff it with endless hours of content when you have such snacks, whole meals that can be contained in the books. And God, they're good meals. That's it. Read fiction. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.